Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Philosophy with Aaron Lane. Today we're going to be talking about wedding versus marriage. Why this specifically? This is the first thing we talk about. So this is episode number 11, and in every single episode I think I have said, why am I talking about this thing? What made me come to this? And then this is not a coincidence I'm talking about this. My podcast is based on life. I'm just going through life. I'm just another guy going through life just like you. So I just want to share my insights with you. Why wedding versus marriage? Well, it's one of the things you can think about in life. It's one of the things that you might even encounter. It's one of the things you might even take part in. You might even have your own wedding, your own marriage. So why not talk about it? Well, first of all. Second of all, it's a pretty interesting thing. But third, and most importantly, since I'm a selfish asshole, I'm doing it for myself, to be honest. I have a girlfriend of 2 months. Well, it's quite a short period, but we tend to really... Well, I really think I can have a conversation with her 20 years down the line. Not really sure about it, I think. Well, that's all I can do, really. So therefore, I think that it's adequate to think about it. I've even told her that I do think that, I do believe in that. And she then said, well, what about a wedding? What about a marriage? And I was like, what? She was like, no, really? Like, you say you want to be with me for your whole life, so then what about the wedding? Like, if I'm supposed to take this relationship seriously, then I must know that. And she tells me that, and even though it makes no sense to think about a fucking wedding and a marriage after 2 months of dating someone, to think about children, no, that makes no sense. But then you really think about it, and women, a lot of times, they tend to be really certain in these things. They really do think about this shit, and they really kind of know if they want it. Even though you can really know if you want to have children. I like the people that say they don't want to have children, like, ever. What? That's so weird. So she asks me that, and I'm like, well, I don't want to have a fucking wedding right now. We've been dating for 2 months. I don't want to have children right now. Yeah, and she's like, yeah, sure, but will you ever want them? I'm not saying now, but will you ever want a marriage? I'm like, what? I don't know. And then I really think about it, and I realize, okay, I don't know yet. I haven't really thought about it. I wasn't ever forced to really think about it, so I don't know yet. Therefore, I cannot tell you. And she's like, what do you mean you cannot tell me? It's a really important thing for me. And what would then happen if you were to realize that you don't want it? Like, I'd just be waiting here for years to come, and we would never get married. And so it's an important thing to me. Okay, so first of all, her approach is kind of retarded, to be honest. But I do understand it. I've had this conversation with my sister, and she said that if two people date and one of them really knows that he doesn't ever want to have children, and then the other person knows that he or she wants to have children, then it is completely fine for those two people to break up. Now, I do agree with that. So therefore, I told that to my girlfriend. I said, oh, you know what? I'm going to go and think about it. That is why I'm doing this episode. I'm going to think about it. I've done my research. I'm going to then talk to you about my insights, and then I'm going to have a conclusion to her question. And she didn't ask. I love how she asked me, well, what? But then if you figure out that you don't want to have a wedding or a marriage, we're going to break up. And I said, yeah, cold-heartedly, yeah, because it makes so much sense to do that. So that's the first thing I want to tell you. If you're in a situation, and this is a really fucking fucked up thing, to be honest. If you're a guy that knows he doesn't want to have a wedding ever, it will be so hard for you to find a girl. Like, the hardest thing for me is, I remember talking to my girl, like, and this is not, I don't want to categorize women or men for that sake, but I remember talking to her before we were dating, and I remember saying something like, I cannot really imagine myself sleeping with one woman. Right, and I remember back then, before we were dating, this was like a half a year ago. It was like, yeah, that makes so much sense. Yeah, I understand that. And now that we are naked in front of each other, we already know each other, and she can be transparent. She's so not okay with that. I remember telling her that it is such a weird thing for me, and I cannot really imagine myself not sleeping with another woman ever. And now that we're dating, she's like, no, it was never gonna happen. It's so retarded. So that, and I understand if you're a guy that doesn't want to have a marriage, even if you talk on the first date about it, you might be in this same scenario where the woman is like, yeah, I do understand that. But these bitches, they always think they can change your mind. And that's the worst thing of it. So here I am. I haven't told her that I do want it. I haven't told her that I do not want it. I haven't told her that I don't know. I just told her that I don't know yet. I'm gonna do my research like a good man, because it's not bothersome for me. I don't just say, yeah, okay, whatever. There's this one passage in the, I'm not so sure what the book is called, from Albert Camus, the most famous one. It is this guy Marcel, his girlfriend. She asks him, do you want to get married? And he's like, okay, whatever, let's go. it's I do understand it, but it's such a sad mindset to have. So I don't want to be like this. I don't want to just be like, yeah, okay, happy wife, happy life. I want both of us to be happy, and for it to be fair. So here I am to go and think about it. And the most important thing is, even though as banal and as trivial as this seems, like, what are we going to talk about, wedding versus marriage? We already know what this is. No, let's really go and stop. Can we stop for a second and really think about stuff, please? Hello? I do like the fact that my girlfriend seems to have kind of a fair reason for a wedding. She doesn't have a problem with a prenup, which already makes it that much better. Like, it makes it that much more reasonable. And she is religious. Well, not like a fucking super Christian religious, but she thinks that she's religious, and that's very debatable. If I think I'm a great podcaster, am I a great podcaster? Well, and that doesn't mean I don't really believe it. I can really, really go and believe that I'm a great podcaster and really think that and really try and do everything for that, but that doesn't make me one. So that's very debatable whether or not, what is the definition of being religious. Like, for my definition, I wouldn't say she is, but from her standpoint, she really does believe it. So her reasoning for having a wedding is that you two stand naked. It's kind of symbolical, like in sex, you stand naked in front of each other, you show everything. That doesn't really mean love me for even the ugliness. Like, I'm never gonna try ever, and you just have to love me. No, but just like, please do love me even for my imperfections. And that's the same thing. So she says that in this, you stand closest to God as two, and it's the biggest and the closest you get to him, and the biggest dedication you have upon each other is that you two stand kind of like naked, close in front of God, and you say your vows. And this changed my mind when she said that, like, to take the marriage vows as sacred is probably the most important lesson we're gonna have over here. And okay, so here's the thing: if you think that, let's say, for example, an apple, right? So you know an apple is red and it tastes, I don't really know how to fucking describe how an apple tastes, but you know it. If you've ever had an apple, right? You already know what a wedding is. You know the definitions, right? You kind of know, you imagine in your mind. But we're here to go more in depth and really think about it. Why? Why? So we're not really going to learn something completely new that you wouldn't know unless you've never heard of these two things. But really stop and think about it, and that's the best way to understand it. It's really important in today's day and age, especially, to stop and think about stuff. So let's get right into it. So wedding versus marriage. Why is it titled wedding versus marriage? It's the fact that I never really, since I never really cared about it, I never really realized that these two things kind of differentiate significantly. Yeah, I knew that from the definitions that wedding is the fucking ceremony, and the marriage is the thing that's after it, right? The contract. But I never realized how much different they are. So let's get right into it. We have kind of a structure, kind of a template of how we're going to be approaching this problem. I think it's a great structure for if you ever want to philosophically analyze something. It's very important to think of what. So think of what it is. If we want to understand it, like Jordan Peterson said, what do you mean by belief? That makes so much sense. We have to know what we're talking about. So we say what, we start with what, then we think about why. Why do things exist? And then this is the biggest philosophical question. Why? Once you understand why, you understand stuff. If you know what, you kind of know what it is. But if you really want to understand it, you have to know why it is. Why? Why even care about this? Why even talk about this, right? And how to approach it. Well, first of all, it's up on you. I'm going to try and guide you a little in my perspective. Doesn't mean I'm perfect. So let's go ahead. So what is a marriage? Let's start off with that. Marriage is a legally accepted relationship between two people in which they live together, or the official ceremony that results in this. Now, I have to be transparent with you. I know, like from the start, I didn't really understand the second sentence or the official ceremony that results in this, because I thought, well, this fucking ceremony is the wedding, right? So what are they talking about? But apparently, marriage, the signing of the contract, right, is a part of the ceremony. So they kind of go hand in hand. So I think what they mean to say is that the ceremony of the wedding results in the marriage. Pretty sure that's what they mean to say, but we don't really care. Let's ignore the second sentence. We'll analyze the first one. But let's first read some examples we have over here. So they had a long and happy marriage. This is an example of using the word marriage. Next one is she went to live in another state after the breakup of her marriage. Okay, we know that marriages, they can be long, they can be broken up. She has 2 daughters by her first marriage. It kind of leads to children, to important life decisions. The marriage ceremony, which is wedding, the court decision legalized gay same-sex marriage. So it doesn't really matter who you want to partner with. It's between 2 people. So let's go more in depth. Let's read the first sentence one more time. A legally accepted relationship between 2 people in which they live together. First of all, a legally accepted. So what does it really mean? Let's try and think about this in depth. So we have some kind of legal system that overshadows whatever happens in this fucking planet, on the planet Earth, right? So if you are dating someone, the state can actually legally accept that partnership. It's a legally accepted relationship between 2 people. And that tells us something about how important for humans it is to partner up. If we go into evolution theory, we realize that we're always in tribes. Always in tribes. Therefore, it is innately in us for us to want to partner up. And apparently, it's very, very important for us to partner up with another human being. It doesn't matter if it's a woman or a guy. We have friends, we have best friends, we have family, and we always partner up. To go solo is very not traditional. You see how important it is for people that we have this system that's legal, and it doesn't even have to care about a marriage, but for us it is so important to have it accepted, legally accepted, to make it official. Now we are officially partners. It's like a deal, it's like a business deal, and it's a great deal, right? So a legally accepted relationship between 2 people in which they live together. What does it really mean to live together? To partner up with someone is to go through life together. Think about it this way. We all are kind of born, thrown into this world, right? Like, obviously, none of us wanted to be born, so we're kind of thrown into this predicament, in this situation. And it's great to have a partner. Instead of to be alone to all this, it's great to have a partner and partner up. So, therefore, legally accepted relationship between 2 people in which they live together is something we invented because it makes so much sense to us. Life is just easier. It makes it so much easier to have a partner together. So what a marriage is essentially just a contract to make this thing official. Now, we'll talk more about the why. Like, why do we want to make it official? Why not just date and partner up with whoever? And honestly, this is kind of interesting to think about, because when you think about it, we're kind of very opportunistic animals. There's an opportunity, you jump at it. There's another opportunity, you jump at it. So you're supposed to do in life for survival. So why marry? Why marry, right? There's another girl, you jump at it. So a marriage also is a lot about the dedication you have for the other person. You have this legally accepted. And you say that, okay, well, there will be shitty days, there will be good days, but I will always be there for you. And that is very important. You throw away your opportunistic side. You don't jump at an opportunity there, you don't jump at an opportunity there. You dedicate this to this one person, and he gives it back to you. And it gives you comfort. Think about it this way. Like, you always have someone. It's kind of like family. Your mother, and hopefully, she doesn't just jump at the opportunity to have another family. She's dedicated to you. So that's very interesting. Now, if we look at a wedding is a completely different thing from a marriage. Wedding is just a ceremony. Marriage is just a contract. Essentially, marriage is whatever goes along with the contract, like the fucking 40 years or 2 weeks you're going to be together. It's so interesting. So what is a wedding? Wedding is a marriage ceremony and any celebrations such as a meal or a party that follow it. And examples of using the word wedding are a wedding cake, dress, invitation, present, reception. Do you know the date of Caroline and Matthew's wedding? It was their 25th wedding anniversary last week. So from a philosophical standpoint, let's go and analyze the definition. So a wedding is a marriage ceremony and any celebrations such as a meal or a party that follow it. It's very interesting. It's a ceremony. So there is this thing. We kind of go more in depth later in this presentation. But when you really think about a wedding, it's not so much different from some kind of ritual. It's not so much different from some kind of ritual where those motherfuckers they would jump the sheep and they tie them down to some fucking table and they cut the shit out of them. It's a ritual. And as my girlfriend said, you get close to God. This fucking thing, the sublime. So a wedding is a fucking ritual and a celebration and a party. It's so crazy. And it's another thing to make it official. It's a very important thing. So does a wedding necessarily have to lead to a marriage? Let's now go and take a look at the differences between a wedding and a marriage. So this is essential for understanding what is different and why it is so much different. So if we take a look at a marriage, we can track down to 2350 before Christ in Mesopotamia. There are some origins of how this whole thing started. Apparently back then, there are some tracks of where it first started to be legally signed. Now, if we look at how a wedding, and this is the most crucial difference, whether or not there are some records of the first written wedding, the thing that people called a wedding, when we looked at the definition that a wedding is just a ceremony of two people saying that they're going to dedicate their hearts to each other, a party where they celebrate that, well, that is literally impossible to track. Why? Imagine the fucking caveman, since we have this in us and we've all this in us. Imagine the caveman back then. He goes in his cave and he falls in love with this woman and he decides. And people did have families back then. That's how we're alive right now, right? He decides, I'm going to dedicate my life to you. Now, just fucking think about that, bro. It is impossible to track because it didn't have to be an official wedding as we know it now. The fucking the flowers flying, whatever. No, but they could have been like, I'm going to be with you forever. Let's have a fucking party. And then we're going to tell everyone. We're going to tell everyone that we're always going to be together. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure we can imagine the cavemen doing that. And that is a crucial difference between a wedding and a marriage. And that is why a marriage, it is a contract defining duties, rights, etc. And it is a practical thing. I'm not saying it's a shitty thing, but it was made by wedding. Like, if we were to ask if the chicken and the egg came first, and the egg is the wedding, then the egg came first. Now, what came first is us wanting to be in tribes, wanting to be partnered to this other person, wanting to have this dedication, this security in another human being. That is what came before the wedding. But then came the wedding, then came the marriage. So marriage is a result of wedding, of human nature. It is so important to know because then you look at it. So we have this legal system that was invented for practical reason. Is it perfect? No, it's fucking shit as fuck. It is so fucking garbage. It is honestly so bad, but it's practical. It does make sense, sure. So marriage is a practical, administrative, legal thing. And a big problem with it, it is ever changing. It's always going to change. You can have different contracts in different countries. You kind of, well, the point doesn't even have to be the same. It can be between a guy and a woman and a car. It can have completely different things written in the contract. You can have a prenup where you don't even care about the legal stuff when it comes to your house and your car and whatever. So it's always different. Now, you might say, okay, well, isn't a wedding always different too? Like they have different weddings in China and in India. Yeah, sure, I do agree with that. But let's look at the points for a wedding. And I have written that it is a ceremony uniting two people. It is symbolic and spiritual. And if you think about it this way, in a very simple manner, it is everlasting. it is not like marriage. Marriage is ever changing. It's always going to be different. The contract that was in Mesopotamia, completely different from what we have nowadays. Now, I'm not saying a caveman's wedding is going to be similar to mine, but the point is the same. It's a ceremony uniting two people. That's why I say a wedding is everlasting. The concept, it is so strong, uniting two people. So please, that is the most crucial difference, is to have a wedding is more important than to have a marriage, to have a contract. It overshadows it by an insurmountable margin. It's incredible. Let's go into the very, very important and essential thing to understanding this problem. So why does each of these things exist? Why? First of all, I would claim that they are both inevitable human constructs. What does that mean? Now, to say that murder is right in some situations, well, it's very debatable. We can talk about that for hours, right? To say that cheating on someone can be reasoned with, can be reasonable. Sure, we can talk about that for, I mean, to say that anything is a very tough thing. But to say that it just cannot happen, can you imagine someone cheating on someone? Hell yeah. We know our nature. We know who we are as humans. So can you imagine two people going and signing a fucking contract that makes it official that they are now together for eternity? Yeah, seems pretty reasonable. Can you imagine a guy licking fucking piss off the toilet bowl? Yeah. So therefore, I would say it's an inevitable human construct, an inevitable human concept. It is bound to happen. It was always bound to happen. Doesn't matter. There was a marriage made in Mesopotamia, 2030, 350 BC. It was a result of the human nature, resulting in the wedding, resulting in the marriage. Marriage is just order, to have order. We want to give order to these things. So let's first look at why a wedding exists. So then we can understand why a marriage exists. So a wedding exists. It's a love ritual. We have this abstract concept that we want to turn into reality. That's essentially what religion is. You have this kind of abstract thing. You cannot really describe it, so you write it down, you write it, you paint all these crazy paintings, you create all these huge stories and huge buildings and whatever, and you really trying to turn that something that's so irrational, you cannot really grasp it, you cannot turn it into words, so you kind of have to turn it into reality. You have this abstract dedication to this person, and you just want to like have a ritual to make it official. So therefore, to also celebrate, because it seems like an achievement. I mean, it's one of the things we want in life. So wedding is also to celebrate. It's very fun. It's great. Like a wedding party, that must be so fucking great. I'm so excited for that. Like, think of all the people that you love in one room celebrating with you. That you found love. I mean, that you have a partner for life. They're like, yay, you got someone to help you with all this. I'm so glad for you. That is such a... Think about that. Like, really think about that. The people that go to a wedding and are genuinely happy for you, think of how much they love you. They are happy for the fact that you found another person to help you with life. They're like, yeah, you found someone to help him. And it's like, and they're like, there's no reason for them. Well, think about it this way. If you were to buy stock in a company and the company would partner up with another great company, you would be happy, sure, but you have stock in that company. Let's say the same thing would happen, but you wouldn't have stock. You'd be like, that's cool. But you wouldn't be like, yeah, let's go. I'm happy for them. But that's so incredible. Obviously, I'm not saying that everyone that goes to a wedding party is going to be like super happy for you. There might even be someone that's mad, that's jealous or whatever. There might even be someone that just wants to drink. But that's so lovely when you really think about it. Now, another one is to publicly proclaim commitment. This is what we do with social media. You see these motherfuckers. And I don't like it because they do it more for others. Now, this is one of the things. It is a reason of why it exists. I'm not saying that it's right or it's wrong. I do not like it personally, but it is one of the reasons to publicly proclaim commitment. You don't really have weddings secretly. Now that I think about it, this is actually quite an interesting thing. Because if my girlfriend wants to have the wedding be in front of God and to say the vows, then I don't really want to say it in front of all those people because I just want to have the party with them. That's so interesting. It's such an interesting. Oh, I just realized that. Maybe just in front of the priest, we say the vows and like for everyone to watch. I don't know. It's so strange. I have to think about that more, but that's gonna be another whatever. Because of our insecurity. This is another reason. I mean, we humans are very insecure. Life is very unsure. You cannot be sure in anything. You might die tomorrow. We want some certainty. We want some security. This is why a wedding exists, and it's a trait, just like anything. You sign a trait. I will be there for you. You will be there for me. Pretty fair. It's a fair trait. And lastly, I wrote an attempt at transcendence. And this is a very, very interesting thing. We have life. We know we're gonna die in some time, maybe 50 years, maybe 10 years, maybe 10 days. I don't know. And you kind of want to transcend that. So when you have a wedding, you want to transcend everything. All the problems, all the fucking complications that will come along with it. You want to transcend life as it is, both together. Completely go beyond it, beyond death, beyond fire. You two will make this. You two will go through it. You'll bite the bullet and you'll do it together. And it sounds so great when you think about it, because when you're all alone, so like, it's a tough state to be in, man. To think that you're all alone, that you have no one. And to have someone just be there for you, tell you, I'm always going to be with you, I'm always going to help you. Like, yes, bro, so it's like, oh, and always. So we have to transcend this. Life is so fucking hard. I mean, a lot of us want to die pretty regularly. So this is not such an uncommon thing. You think, why is this? Why am I alive? Why is any of this? So we have religion to have a reason to live. But I think it's more interesting is the fact that, okay, we don't know shit. We don't know what life is. I'm just going to go through it, do whatever, and have you help me. Thank you for that, and I'll help you. Let's both help each other. So this is why wedding exists. Transcendence, security, commitment, celebration, turning abstract thing into a reality, and it's an inevitable human construct. So then we look at a marriage, which is derived from a wedding. It is more for social order. We want to naturally have order in everything, and it is so reasonable. Chaos can be fun, I guess, but to have order, it's just so peaceful. So you want to have order. You want to have this and this, this and this. This, you want to have math in blue. You want to have biology in green. So to have order is to have peace. And it will make the relationship more peaceful. Well, it's very debatable, but you will think it will make it more peaceful if you have some order. Also, the legal system wants to have order over people. So it's then for state benefits / control, it's very debatable. The state, I heard this one divorce lawyer say that, why would you ever want the state involved in your relationship? And it's very reasonable, but it comes from a divorce lawyer. It's a pretty cool guy. I really recommend listening to the episode. It's from the diary of a CEO. But the problem is, the state is involved in fucking everything. Like, you cannot go against that, unfortunately. That's why we have prenups. Like, a prenup is such a reasonable thing. In case you don't know, prenup is the thing that makes you more secure in the marriage from having 50% of your stuff taken away. Because that can happen. So if you are a reasonable partner, if I say that if your partner wants to get married and no prenup, doesn't want to have a prenup, that is very sus. That is very sus. That is already thinking that it's not going to work. They might not admit it. Paradoxically, if you are in some situation where you can leave at any second, it makes you less want to leave. And if you are in some situation where you are forced to stay out of anxiety, you will stay now, sure. But eventually you will leave. It's so interesting. Next up, social status. Make it official. This is what we say with the wedding. We want the social status. We want it written down. We want to make things official. We have hope for stability, hopefully, and to protect both partners. Don't really think about that. It's really a partnership. The whole thing is just partnering up with another person. The problem is the part where we want to necessarily make it official. It's so, like, how much more official can it get? You started with your first kiss. Oh, no, that's nothing. That doesn't have to be official. You hold hands, okay, sure. But it doesn't really make it official. I don't know what the other person is thinking. So you say, we're dating. Okay, well, Yeah, we're dating, but it can just be a situationship. I don't know. So you say you're in love. Yeah, okay, but that can be very... It can be, ups and downs. You're sometimes more in love, sometimes less. So we say, you know what? Let's have some security. Let's say this is an official partnership. And it seems the much more official when there's a literal fucking contract. I mean, wouldn't that seem official to you? There's... Let's say those people that are working jobs where they don't even have a contract signed. Let's people working on a part-time job where they haven't even signed the contract and they're just working and getting money on the side. Did you say that's an official job? Doesn't really seem like it. So it kind of makes sense. Next up, and lastly, how to approach it. How do we approach this shit? What do we do with it? What do we do with all these informations? I say that you must necessarily learn to differentiate the two. Learn to differentiate that a wedding is a spiritual ritual that is very irrational, and a marriage is just giving order to the whole thing. They go hand in hand. It's kind of like your body. You have these emotions inside of you. They're retarded. They make you do stupid stuff. They're irrational. And then you have the rational to fucking save you from all that shit. From doing stupid stuff. Imagine if you would just live based on your emotions. Oh my god, you'd be cooked as fuck. So next up, worship the promise, not the contract. The contract is just there to make it official. You have to worship the promise and the dedication. Take it as sacred. Treat marriage vows as absolutely sacred. That is the last thing we're going to do in this presentation. We're going to read some vows and think about it. Go in very in depth. And then approach said promise wisely and with precaution. Don't just do it mindlessly. And I know people don't really get married mindlessly, but you do it in the heat of the moment. Take a year, take 2 years, take 3 years, take 4 years, take 5 years with your partner. It doesn't fucking matter. Approach it very, very cautiously because it is such an important dedication. You just do not say that. Imagine you are 20 years old and you go into a job and you say, I'm going to work in this job forever. You sign your name. Sure, it might seem like a dream job, but trust me, those words, do not take them lightly. And I say that with a fucking warning. You can say to your partner, I want to be with you for eternity. It seems like a great thing. I really want that. But don't say I will until approach it very wisely on the fucking tippy-toe around that. Literally tippy-toe. Take 2 years, know each other, and go live with them, know how it is to live with them, take 3 years to live with them, and then go marry them. Approach it very wisely. 5 years compared to a lifetime is nothing. So that's reasonable. Now, I also, lastly, before we go into the marriage vows, want to talk about the law of initial motivation. In case you don't know, this is a concept I have. It's a very great philosophical concept. I'm very proud of it. The law of initial motivation. The outcome of any human action is strongly bound by its initial motivation. In short summary, this philosophical concept talks about the importance of approaching tasks and challenges in life with the appropriate motivation, which then leads to higher probability of achieving success in said tasks and or more open-mindedness and less rigidity. We talked about this in many of our topics. For example, when approaching dating or approaching having a job, you say that the motivation that you go into it with, that is already predicting the outcome. Every single day, you do actions. Think about why you do them. Think about the motivation, why you do them. And that why you're doing stuff just decides everything. If you just go into a job to just make some money, it just already decides everything. It's going to be short-term bullshit. If you go to marriage out of convention, you're not a philosopher, you don't philosophize about this, you don't do this deep research. Please fucking watch this video. Please. Like, it will save you so much. Do not just do it out of convention. Really think about stuff. Really go in depth. Think about why am I doing this? Why? Be a conscious human being. Don't do it out of insecurity, uncertainty, or loneliness. I do understand it. It's a reasonable partnership. Yeah. But don't do it out of that. Just do it out of dedication. Just out of dedication. That is the most important thing. Have a dedication to the other person. They will have it for you. Don't just do it that you're insecure, you'll be alone. No. Imagine, but it can happen. Your partner can die today. They will get hit by a fucking piano. A guy is throwing a piano out of his fucking apartment building right now. It will fall on your partner's head. She is dead now and forever. Imagine that. Will you be okay? Well, no, obviously, but would you go on with life? Imagine that. And you have to imagine, yes, I would. If you cannot imagine that, then don't have a fucking marriage. You will be anxious in it. Fucking retarded. Next up, external validation. Hell no, we don't care about these motherfuckers. Don't post your girl on social media. Don't let your girl post you on social media. Don't have each other in each other's bios. Don't even tell anyone you're dating. It's just you two. I'm gonna talk to my girlfriend about the part where I said to have the marriage vows in front of other people. Maybe I don't like that because it seems like external validation. Fuck other people. Honestly, just dedicate. Just be there for them. That's the least you can do. And acting under pressure is what I could have done. I do love my girlfriend. I want to be with her, but also to just do something she wants me to do, to have a wedding, to have children. Be the fucking reasonable person and realize this is such an insane dedication that you have to really think about this cautiously. You're putting all your life savings, you're going all in poker. All your tokens, you're pulling them in the middle of the table. Really, I really say don't act under pressure. Slowly think about it. Take a deep breath. Honestly, in life, always take a deep breath and then act. Think for a second, take a deep breath, and don't do the initial thing that you think of. That is always the wrong decision. Trust me. So lastly, to end this presentation, marriage vows. Marriage vows are what you say in your wedding. That is what you dedicate to your partner. And let's go really in depth. This is some just like very common example I found on the internet. There can be many examples of how you phrase your marriage vows. But let's look at it. And is there a reason they are written this way? It just shows that marriage, essentially what it should be. I'm not saying that people approach it this way, but what it should be essentially is just saying, hey, I'm going to be there for you forever. That's the whole thing that is. That literally, if you sum it up, hey, you get cancer, I get cancer, you lose 40 pounds, you gain 50 pounds, I'm going to be there for it forever. Sometimes I'm going to fly, sometimes you're going to crawl. It can be the other way around. So marriage vows. I take you to be my lawfully wedded. So, okay, whatever. To have and to hold from this day forward. It's really interesting that it says from this day forward. That just shows you, no matter, you could have kissed 50 guys, you could have fucked 20 guys, whatever, the guy that you marry is completely different. From this day forward, your life changes. It changes everything. For better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health. To love and to cherish till death do us part. We have the transcendence part over here, till death do us part. But when you really look at it, no matter what happens, better for worse, richer for poorer, sickness and in health, always will be there for you. That is essentially all you're saying. So is the marriage contract perfect? No, have a prenup. Like, honestly, your partner can go insane. It can happen. Doesn't mean it will, but let's say you go into that job at 20 years old and you sign a contract to work there for a lifetime. Then you have an option to sign another contract that says you will have all the dedication. We will love you, cherish you. We will make you the best employee we have, and you will be for us the best employee you can be. But in case it doesn't work out, we'll let you go. And this, when you really think about it, it's such a lovely thing. You dedicate yourself to another human being, but you have the option to let go. Then it makes it so much more dedication. If you just don't have a prenup, and you're then anxious of all the trials that will go on after that, there's no dedication. You're scared. If you're scared to leave, it's not dedication. That is insane. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you. And write down in the comments what you think. See you.